friends, we are trying this again since yesterday didn't work out. So something funny that I wanted to share is if you watched my 420 live stream with Toddy, I did worked on a painting of my Ganja goddess painting, and we just chatted and talked. It was a great time. Something funny though is back before I started my channel, I already had a habit of listening to Toddy while I paint. So as we're celebrating 420 and chatting on this live and doing that, I kept zoning out, y'all, and thinking I was just, listening to Toddy painting like usual. And I would forget that I'm talking to her live until she'd be like, Millennial, what do you think? Millennial. And then I'd come back to. So yeah, that was pretty funny. It was a good time. We're definitely going to do more than those. Let me bring up the pictures. Okay, so where we left off last time, Gypsy and Ken were in the Jeep heading to their baby moon in Rain, Louisiana. There's the place where they're staying. Looks pretty cute. Lifetime give us some wistful music. Gypsy said, oh, it's beautiful. I love the antiques, honestly. I think it looks cute. So not everything is antique, but there are some enough antiques mixed in to give it that vibe. This garden tub, heart-shaped red garden tub cracked me up. I haven't seen these used since like the 70s. They're usually in mid-century modern 70s hotel, no-tell, motel leftovers. What do y'all think? Have y'all seen these in use recently? That was different. Ken reminds Gypsy that Jesus is watching. She finds that hilarious. And then she asks Ken to come help her on the bed because it's too tall. Ken runs in to save her with his Keenergy. And then he gets her on the bed and he's like, whoop, we gotta go walk around the lake before it gets dark. He just walks off and leaves her laying on the bed. And Gypsy's like, oh, whenever we first reconnected, there was no noise, no outside, all these outside opinions. And when I'm stressed, it shows over text. Yeah, I bet it does. God, can y'all imagine? Can you really imagine just how much it shows over text? What do y'all think? Lifetime gives us some gentle music. They play a song. It's not I Can Feel It Coming in the Air Tonight. I don't know the song. They walk up to this swing and Gypsy's like, do you think it's safe? It's on this massive iron frame and the swing looks totally new. I don't know what wouldn't be safe about it. It was just a weird question to me. And then Ken says, you hear that? And Gypsy's like, what? And Ken says, exactly, nothing there. Peace and quiet. And then they're talking about how, all the holidays coming up, they're going to have a baby. This is going to be their last holiday alone. And then they started talking about how it's a year out from Gypsy's release and they never thought they'd be in this place now. Lifetime gives us some more gentle music with Parker running around. Gentle music as they go back to the cabin and Ken just takes up running with Parker and leaves Gypsy behind again. Y'all think he's trying to run away from her? And Gypsy starts talking about their relationship. She's like, I've put so much time, so much effort, but I'm learning new things that I should have known, particularly like how much you have to work at it. It's so obvious that Gypsy always thought and still thought that relationships are like Disney movies. You fall in love and it's happily ever after. You just get the feeling and everything's good. And they roast some s'mores, and Gypsy, of course, has to bring up Ryan. She's like, it's been a crazy week and a half with Ryan. And they talk about the paternity, and now they can move on. Ken's like, I got some non-alcoholic bubbly for us. And then Lifetime shows a little scene here, and Ken's like, yeah, it's so peaceful. So peaceful. No one around. There's a whole camera crew around y'all, dude. A whole freaking camera crew. Then they switch to Ryan and give us this shot of Ryan here, talking about how the paternity test hurt him. He said he cried. That piece of paper hurt so bad. It was hard for him to look at that paper. And y'all, I'm honestly losing patience with Ryan. Like, let it go, dude. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go. And then he started trying to explain himself. Why so hurtfully? He's like, she still is my last name. So I see that my last name is on hers and the father kid, whatever his last name is. And then he's like, Ooker, I don't know how you say it. Let it go, dude. Let it go. He said, I call him other words, but that's beside the point. Yeah, we know you do, Ryan, but honestly, he's gotten very boring. He just keeps whining about the same thing. I love Gypsy. Yeah, it hurt to see her name. Someone else's name is the dad. Oh, Ryan and his pain. Lifetime give us some pensive music with that full-on face shot of serious Ryan. Then he starts talking about how he's like, I always said in any post I made about the baby, any live, that I'm probably not the father. I was 90% sure that I was not the father, but there's still that 10%. I don't know. Yeah, we know, Ryan. He says, then they start to talk about that Louisiana law that they've all both very, very slowly explained over and over as if they couldn't just say it and be done. In Louisiana law, if you get pregnant inside of a marriage, the father is assumed to be, or the husband is legally assumed to be the father. We freaking know. Doesn't really mean anything, honestly, but boy, in Ryan's mind, it does. And he says that, hey, I'm a roll with the punches guy, and it's been nothing but punches. He's punches in bunches, crying, laughing through the tears there. Ryan tears. He said, I'm not trying to say the baby's mine, but and then he just kind of rambles off, really. I don't know what his point was. Then Lifetime switches to Ken and Rod about to take a trip together, and Ken's like, yeah, I hope I don't make myself look like too much of a fool. Dude, you already did. You already did. Rod sat there in front of an international audience on Lifetime and said, Gypsy wants a baby. Please don't. Please wait. Ken, I'm telling you, she wants a baby. Please make sure this doesn't happen. And a few months later, they're like, guess what, Rod? We're having a baby. Yeah, you done? You already look dumb, Ken. You look dumb. Yeah, there, I forgot to switch screenshots. I hope I don't make a fool of myself too much, Ken. Ken, you did it. Your Kenergy is foolish. And then, right after he says that, he was like, holy shit, are those orcas? No, you're in Louisiana. You're not in the Pacific Northwest. And he was like, oh, the Pacific Northwest, it would have been orcas. Then they switched to a scene of Gypsy's ultrasound and Rod's talking. He's like, hey, Aurora, do you hear us? Like trying to talk to the baby through the ultrasound. And Gypsy does the thing that she's done a million freaking times. She's like, what kind of parent do you think I'm going to be? And Ken says he thinks she's going to be a pushover. Personally, I don't know. When she talks, she sounds like she wants to be strict, which is scary considering her past and her traumas and stuff, What do y'all think? That is the end of the recap for that episode. I will work on the next one later. Man, cross your fingers with me, y'all, that this has sound when I'm done. I checked it before. It was good, but we'll see. Anyway, I hope all y'all are having a good day. I'll be back with episode 6 soon if my technical difficulties allow me. Have a good day, y'all.